Hello, everybody. I'm greatly honored to welcome you to this current episode of the ISV Landscape series. Today, we have Ortoo as a company and Quratulain Tariq, a senior solution engineer, as a speaker. I'll also briefly share my screen so that you actually can see the slides. We do have a Q&A channel, so please use it for posting questions. There will be a dedicated Q&A time at the end. As such, we'll start with an intro, and the heart of the event will be the live demo. This event is kindly co-hosted by 4 user groups worldwide, and we have Rodrigo of the Veracruz user group with us. Could you say a few words, Rodrigo?
Thank you, René. Sure. Welcome everyone and to this session, and greetings all the way from Mexico to all of you. And let's go over with Quratulain.
Thank you so much. Welcome everybody. Then Quratulain, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, René. Hi, everyone. I am Quratulain. You can also call me Qurat for short. I always tell everybody it's like a carrot with a Q. So I'm based in Islamabad, Pakistan. I've been working in the community for around 8 years now. I am very passionate about the community, so I work as a community leader here and a conference organizer as well. And recently attended my first ever Dreamforce and got a chance to meet Mark Benioff. It was amazing. And today I'm here to present more about Ortoo, what we do, the AI solution that we have, and a live demo of our assignment solution, which is called Q-assign. I hope everybody can see it now.
Yeah, that works.
Awesome. So welcome everyone to today's event. Thank you for finding the time at the end of your working day to come meet us. Really appreciate it. So just starting off with Ortoo, what our goal is and what we are doing essentially is that we are working towards creating solutions that transform enterprise teams. So we have multiple different solutions available, notably the assignment solution that we have, which is powered by AI. And on the other side, we also have email solutions and more things, which overall help in optimizing different processes for our enterprise customers and basically how the teams do their work and save them time while they're doing that. So what I'll do is, to start off with, I'll do a quick introduction for 𝗍𝗍. 𝗍𝗍 is the parent company of Ortoo, and it is basically building a team of all the great ISVs together. And right now we have 4 different ISVs under 𝗍𝗍, which are Document, Ortoo, 𝗙𝗏𝘁, and Capstone. And all of us bring in multiple different types of solution to our whole suite. So we have document generation, backup functionality with Capstone. 𝗙𝗏𝘁 is a POS point of sale solution for Salesforce. And finally, we have Ortoo, which brings in different capabilities like email management, assignments, territories, AI solutions, and a lot more through the mix. So moving on with introducing Ortoo a little bit more in terms of what we do. So all of our solutions are native to Salesforce, which means all the assignments or the email solution and everything happens within Salesforce and gives a great deal of, reassurance to our customers as well, who are looking at it from the security standpoint and different enterprises and so on. And we have been on the App Exchange since 2010, so it's been a while. We have customers all across the world, notably in the US, in the EU, Australia, and a lot of other places as well. and we have a diverse team of engineers, again, pretty much working globally from different regions, which helps us in making sure that our customers are getting the level of support all around the clock 24/7. In terms of what we do or what areas are different that we cover, we have solutions that are primarily covering, as it says, service. So we work a lot with Service Cloud. That's where the assignments are predominantly being used for case assignments, routing, other things, and milestone, etc. And then a bigger chunk of our use cases also comes from the sales side of the business as well, where customers are using our solution for managing their needs or opportunities or different contacts in Salesforce. And finally, we have also solutions available for marketing side, where we have things like doing lead classifications or prioritizations or assignments and so on. And again, these solutions are pretty versatile and flexible and can pretty much work in any department with any objects in Salesforce. So the flexibility is really the currency with our solutions. And in terms of why anybody would choose Ortoo, again, is because over many years since we've been live since 2010, we have built and improved on the solutions that we have right now, which are very scalable, easy to set up, no code required, all point and click, which puts the control back into the business teams without having to rely highly on IT teams, where whatever, as the businesses are using these solutions and new needs arrive, they can always scale the solution without having to go through very extensive development or anything of that sort. And since last few years, we are also have been pioneering the AI side of our solutions, where we have incorporated AI into all of the offerings we have, where customers can now use AI for managing assignments, where they make sure the right data gets routed to the right person at the right time. And besides that, we have a lot of, I would say we have learned from our customers and we evolve very rapidly. So we have built our AI solutions to a point where now we have an agentic solution available as well, which complements Agentforce, works with it more in the background and automates the processes and everything for our customers. And then we have some customers in the bottom area that we are working with right now. A lot of them are enterprises, high volume customers, and they're pretty happy with the solution that we are bringing on board. And we have been able to scale it for even teams that are spanned in different multiple continents. And the solution is working pretty well for them so far. Next up, we pretty much have Ortoo in a highlight. We have some resources on the right available as well, which I can share in the chat too. And again, the contacts, you can always, if you have any questions, if you have a use case, you can always reach out to us and to our sales team or support team. We are available again all the time around the clock. And how we work is pretty unique in terms of when we are building solutions for our customers, our key focus is also on enabling our customers, whereby we are not just putting solutions into place, we are educating and enabling the folks we are working with in a way where they can then take the solution, scale it, and take it wherever they want to take it as a next step for their company. In terms of industries, we have worked, our work is spanning multiple different industries. Some of them are mentioned here: financial services, manufacturing, education, healthcare. And recently we have put in multiple AI-powered use cases for automotive customers as well. Again, which speaks or kind of drives back the point to the fact that the solution is pretty flexible and in a way where it can be applied to any industry or any use case pretty much in Salesforce. So this again pretty much highlights why enterprises are opting to use our tools or Ortoo's tools, and share some examples. Again, for the lead assignment, we talk about lead assignment pretty frequently because it is a very common theme that comes up with our customers. We have, and when it comes to assignment, we're just not talking about assigning the record out, which is a very, you can say, the baseline thing. But in our solution, we are giving a diversity of option to our customers, where choose to data first and then figure out. We have a solution for territories as well, so that we can figure out, where the leads are coming from, and then generating these data points, which then lead to a place where we can figure out now who is the best person for assignment. Instead of just saying, okay, if a lead comes in assigned to ABC, we can do a lot of pre-work before that, which helps us in improving the accuracy when we are doing these assignments. In a very recent example, we had a customer that we rolled out our solution for, and within the first week, their accuracy of assignments went from, I believe, 15% to 80%. And that was just the first week. And that was made possible because of all the pre-work we can do, all the data points that we can generate, which enables the solution to work efficiently. And then we have, again, no development required, all point and click, business friendly, which also means it is scalable and it is not fixed, and it can grow with the company as the company grows. Right. So next up, I just added a little bit of highlight of what we are doing with AI. So our AI, we are calling it AI services, does multiple different things. You can create agents inside Salesforce using our solution, deploy them again within just with a few clicks. And we are working on all sorts of different use cases. If a company is using, let's say, cases or Service Cloud, we see a lot of use cases there for figuring out the sentiment of the customer, or extracting data from emails that are coming in on these cases and enriching cases in real time. We can go ahead and notify team members based on different information that is coming in these emails. And more than that, we have a whole suite of pre-built automation that you can pretty much plug and play and start using. So what that means is that with our solution, you get pre-built out of the box automations as well that you can just add to your processes and start using them. And with AI, it becomes a lot more intuitive, where we have customers using our solutions, which supports multiple different languages as well, where they're receiving cases from different regions, different languages, and we are able to use AI to first assign them out, making sure if there is any need for translation, sentiment, summaries, we do all of that. And what that does is it takes away any manual work needed to make sure when the records get to the right person, they have everything they need to get started and start the work. So there are no delays, better data quality, better SLAs being managed, and so on and so forth. If anybody has any questions, I'll keep an eye on the chat as well. I see. I'm just going through the questions so I can take it as well.
Yeah,
so,
let's take the questions at the end if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's perfect. Let's do that. Thank you, Renee. Okay, so next up, again, the emphasis back again is on empowering the business. That's what we talk a lot about, and not having to rely on IT. Again, the collaboration happens, everything happens, and we understand the need for IT there as well. But the purpose here just is, as the needs grow, the solution can grow with the needs, and the business users can manage it, scale it, build the solution. And that's where it is very important to us that we are doing the enablement to start with. So it's not just about implementing the solutions again, it's more about creating product champions with the customers as well, who can take the solution and scale it later on. And by operating this way, we are essentially removing any blockers, bottlenecks where, We don't need any, for instance, if we implemented something for lead assignment and now there is a requirement for doing data enrichment, we don't need to create any code or any automations. We have options within the application to scale that up. And what that helps us in further is minimizing the time that is needed to build the solution further. As it says here, we have effectively taken down the time from months to minutes or weeks or days, because of how fast we can build the solution as the need is evolving. And we again have seen a drop in implementation timelines, dependency overall, and then overall pushing out faster solutions for our customers. This part here is talking very specifically more about the assignment solution. So far we have been covering overall the what Ortoo is, Ascendix, how we are working, and all of those things, and what the product suite looks like. But this is more about what does the routing solution do. So right now here it mentions leads and opportunities, but one thing that I would like to clarify is that the routing can work for anything in Salesforce. So we have customers, routing opportunities, contacts, calls, chats, anything really. It would work with that. So to start with, the first thing we have is lead matching, where we are talking about again enriching and finding the different data points for the leads as they're coming in. So we can figure out as the leads come in what territories or what location they belong to, what the product is that the lead is talking about, and create these data points, which would further down the line help us in making sure that we are matching it with the best person available. The next thing we have is rep availability or user availability. And what that does is that we have a lot of flexibility in terms of how do we define who is available at any point in time. So we can rely on something like if they are logged in or not, or if they are in their particular business hours or not. And we can even take it up a notch and use any externally available data as well. For instance, some of our customers might be using an external tool like Genesis to figure out the availability. So as that information gets pushed to Salesforce, we can use to figure out availability. We can very effectively manage out of office, any last minute changes in the schedule, because again, we are empowering manager and managing their teams. And we have tools available that they can use to very effectively manage out of office, if anybody goes out, reassign their records, and so on and so forth. And the next few options we have, we'll talk more about how we do the assignment. So everybody knows about round robin, pretty basic option available. We can do that. But when we are talking about enterprises or assignments at scale, then just round robin most of the times is not enough. So that's where we have multiple different options available. So we can do load balance, or we can see what kind of work the agents already have and then use that as a basis for assignment. If you have more complicated use cases where you say, look at different skills of the agent and figure out who is the best one. So we can do something like point scoring, where we can generate different data points and use them for assignment. So we have a very flexible um, assignment modes available that can be used, and they can very easy requirements for. Um, so I was just talking about the fact that when we are talking about assignments at scale, that's where we need the flexibility in how the assignments happen. And with our options that we have available, we can cater to a team that is assigning brackets just to 10 people or 10,000 people. So that's where the flexibility of the app is very helpful, where we can deal with smaller companies, enterprises, or anything in between. Um, and the next bit that we believe is the assignment really is not the end of the solution, it's more of the start of it. So that's where we have more functionality where if something is assigned to somebody, and they don't take action in XYZ time, we have the ability to reassign those leads out or make sure that somebody is getting notified and work is happening, because we understand leads being not worked on in time means losing money for the customers or the company. So this is where you can build in the reassignment logics or supervising logics into your system to make sure that when the assignments happen, if no action is taken, then either we push them out to other people, to the manager, somebody gets notified, which effectively helps us in making sure that the SLAs are being met. And another issue that we often see in assignments could be cherry picking, which we can fully eliminate because we are doing auto assignments. Um, and still, if customers would like to, take records themselves, we can make that happen as well. So they can either we push the records out to them, or they can take the records that they qualify for. So there are options there as well. And then monitor on the bottom left again, as all of these records are getting assigned, reassigned, things are happening, we are creating different data points on the records, and those can be used for reporting purposes, and you can monitor what's happening, the availability, the workload, what kind of work they're getting, how soon the records are being worked on, and so on. And then with manage, we're talking about managing the teams. Managers can easily create teams using our tools, set their skills, what kind of cases or plays they would work on, manage their availability, weightings, which means what weightage of the records they would be getting, and so on. Again, with Meyer, because of all the data points that we are generating, we can um, easily create dashboards reporting on it. And as these assignments are happening, we are also keeping a log of why something happened or why something didn't happen. And that data is very useful for our customers, where they can see the trend of, okay, it didn't happen ABC, and they can constantly work on improving the solution. Whereas I mentioned earlier, we were able to go from 15% to 80% accuracy with assignments. And we are moving forward towards 90 and further by looking at the data that our apps create in terms of why something didn't happen, and we can improve on it further to improve the accuracy. And finally, we have an excellent team, enablement team available. As soon as you install any of our apps from App Exchange, you get the 30-day free trial that you can use and test the app in. But the value really comes from our team as well, that can work with you, or however you prefer, really, and build the solution within a few days' time and help you evaluate what you're looking for in terms of use cases and so on. And as the use case grows later on, as you evolve, our support team is there to support you through that as well. And finally, the last thing we have on top right are plugin actions, which are pre-built pieces of automation that come with our app that you can use, and it can do things like connecting to Slack, sending notifications, sending emails, alerts, and so on. So these are all pre-built automations that you can plug into our assignment tool, and it can further optimize how your team is doing the work. I hope I did not bore everybody out and it makes sense. I'll just go ahead and move forward. So the next bit we have is the live demo of how these assignments happen. I have prepared a demo in our demo org for you, all of you. But I can take a few minutes of break if anybody has to ask anything, and we can take the questions in the end, as Renee said.
Yeah, thank you so much, Quratulain. I think we are fine. So maybe you can go ahead.
Sure, awesome. Let's do that. So what I'll do is I'll just share my org screen and we can get started. Please let me know when my screen comes through.
Yeah, we see it.
Awesome. So what you see on your screen right now again is the Q-assign solution. And one of the main things in Q-assign are something we called assignment groups. And you can think of it as virtual teams or the logic of what happens when these records are coming into Salesforce. And this is more of a lead orchestration demo. So we will be looking at how we can follow the leads through different steps in the lifestyle process, lifestyle, no, life cycle process for the leads. So these assignment groups can be created. There are no limits in how many we can create, but we can create each one to do a step in the whole life cycle for the leads. So if you look at the ones that we have available, what we are doing right now is that when the leads are coming in, we are doing an AI triage, which basically means we are looking at some information available and updating the data for the lead that then helps us further to figure out if it is a good lead, bad lead, what we want to do next. And then in the next step, we are managing spam using AI. What we can do is we can look at the lead data, things like lead name, any description or any messages, and figure out if the lead that we're working with is a spam or an actual lead. And how this helps is that later on, we can simply just deflect these leads instead of having them assigned to somebody and then they figuring out if it's a spam and taking up their time. So what we are effectively doing is that we are automatically figuring out and weeding out the spam leads, which means only the right actual leads that need work get assigned to our agents. And next up, we have enrichment, so we can look at other data like location, territories, different things for the lead. We can classify the leads, which means here it means that we can figure out which product they are interested in, but classification can mean anything. So if you have different data points that you would like to figure out, like type of leads, product interest, other things, the solution is flexible to do that. And then the second last point is where we assign them out to people. So after we have done all of the pre-processing and now we know that we only are left with the right leads, then we go ahead and look at the people who are available and assign the leads out to them. And once the assignment happens, then as a next step, we can continue supervising these leads and make sure we take actions if the leads are not being worked on, if the SLA is being missed, and so on. So following this pattern, you can create a whole end-to-end automation for your lead life cycle. And what I'll do here is that I'll just open one of these so we can have a quick look at what it basically looks like. So within the assignment groups, what we are essentially doing is a few things. So the first thing we figure out is which records are we going to work with. So this is where the criteria comes in. And right now I'm saying pick up anything, any lead that is in the triage status, which means any lead that is coming in, let's say by default, gets into triage status. And that's where automation starts working and picking them and assigning them out and working on it. And how Q-assign works is um, it has a continuously running job in the background, which we call a scheduler. And that can run at any frequency that you like. So it could be as small as 30 seconds, or maybe it could be 30 minutes if you like. And that is constantly running in the backend. And every time it runs, it sees that, okay, are there any new records available for processing? If yes, and then it starts processing them out. And then next thing we can specify is what kind of here in this one we are just doing AI enrichment or triage, so we're not really assigning, but we have options to assign out as well if we like. And then we have the idea of different actions. So here I am, what I'm basically doing is I'm figuring out the territory for these leads using our territory solution, and also doing a AI based triage for the lead. What we can do here is we can have a quick look at the AI piece as well. So what we're doing here is we're just running an action, which is using AI in the backend. Let me just open an example so we can have a look. So with our AI solution, what we can essentially do is that we can simply create prompts, like you can create in, let's say, something like ChatGPT, and use them for processing our records. So what we are doing here potentially is we are saying, we're passing on the lead information like company description, name, and so on, and then we can request back information. So we are saying, help us figure out if this lead is spam, or can this be deflected, what kind of product they're interested in. And we can also pass on data from the lead itself to the prompt. And all of this is done within our application. And then we can simply connect it with any LLM of your choice. And as soon as the lead comes in and the action runs, AI can figure out if it is a spam, if it needs deflection, what kind of product they're interested in. And we can do a lot more. We can do things like sentiment, extracting data from emails or descriptions and adding it anywhere on the record. So it's a lot more flexible in terms of what we can achieve here. So this is how we can use AI with our solution to do things like lead triaging that we are doing here. Let me just head back to, and I'll just quickly open the assignment bit so we can have a look at how we can add people to this equation as well. So after we have done the triage, enrichment, of the things, this is where now we are going to go ahead and assign these leads to people. What I'll do is I'll just scroll to the bottom real quick. So this is the area where so an assignment group can do assignments or just run actions or do other things. So it doesn't have to be always just assignments. But in this case, since we are assigning leads out to people, so we can add people here. We can also assign to queues as well if you have requirements like first the leads come in to a main queue, then they get deflected to different regional queues and then to agents. We can do that as well. Or we can do directly from leads coming in to different agents. And here you can see we have the option to set business hour for these people. Do they work 24/7? We can specify quotas, like how many leads they can get in a day. We can also manage their workload, where we can say if they have 5 active leads they're working on, don't give them more leads. And how this helps is mostly in, let's say, Service Cloud situations where we are signing out cases. We can do things like if somebody already has a priority one issue, don't assign them another one unless they resolve it. And it helps in making sure that nobody has more than what they can work on, which can impact SLAs or timelines eventually. And then I'll just go back up a little bit. So, as we talked about before, the criteria here basically specifies which leads we are going to work on. So, here are the ones that are already been through spam check, through deflection, through enrichment, and are still there, actual leads. That's what we are working with. And then again, we're doing simple round robin. But what I'll do is I can just quickly edit it so you can see what different options we have available for assignment. So we have round robin, we can do load balanced, point based. Again, load balance could be based on how many records they have or what kind of workload they have. And then point based could be we can generate data points like numbers based on different factors of the agent or the lead, and then decide if we want to assign it out to the one who is the highest or the lowest. And one of the use cases here could be that we say a lead comes in and then we have 5 different agents and they have different level of expertise. Like somebody has 5 years of experience, somebody works on 3 different products, or somebody works on only one product. So we can see all of those different attributes about the agent and generate some kind of numbers and then figure out who is the best one to work on this lead. Or we can simply go with round robin as well. And I'll just quickly go out of this view. And then again, when the assignment is happening, we can take actions as well. So for example, if the lead came in and it was in triage status and now we have assigned it out, we can automatically update different fields. Like here we are changing the status to assigned. But we can also take actions if the assignment doesn't happen. So we can say things like, if our tool tries to assign it out, but the assignment doesn't happen, then just go ahead and change ABC field to something else. And there are a lot of other options here as well that we can, again, look through if needed and build solution using all of these different options. So this is pretty much how we can create these assignment groups, which are, I would say, the meat and potatoes of the whole solution. And then we can bring in other things like AI, prompts, actions, other things to kind of complement the solution further, add more to it. And as we talked about the idea of teams or the managers having it easy to use. So this is what we are essentially talking about, where the managers can create their own teams. They can manage their shifts, their time that they're working. And on the right side, you can see we can also have a data point saying how many leads were assigned to each user. And the manager can pretty easily manage different aspects of their team. So they can manage their availability, their attributes, and different things like such. So I'm just waiting for it to load. So this is what the manager control panel looks like, and they can see which of their users or team members are available, what their shifts look like. Somebody's working in EMEA, somebody is using their calendar for shift management or 24/7. So this is pretty flexible. And if, let's say, Ben Howard is was working but is no longer available because he had to leave for some urgent work, so the manager can just come here and make them unavailable just by a click of a button. And what that would do is that the leads would no longer go to Ben anymore unless Ben comes back and becomes available. Um, and users can control this as well. So it really depends on how business would like to go about it. Either users manage it or the managers directly do. And then we have other things here, like you can manage quotas. So for example, how many leads somebody can get in a day. So right now, if you can select any assignment groups and add a quota, so I can say like 5. And if I go ahead and save it, that would mean that Ben, whenever it becomes available, will only get 5 leads in a day. And the timeline can be managed as well. It could be day or hour based and etc. So this is what our customers are finding really helpful in terms of the team managers, where they can easily and effectively manage their teams from one single view. I think I've talked about it a lot. We can now see it in action. Just give me a second. I'll bring over our leads that we are going to work with. All right. So this is a handy dandy list view of our leads in Salesforce for the lead orchestration demo. And we have different data points. For example, we have lead names, company, a short description. You can see some of them are junk leads doing some car offers and stuff, and some of them are actual leads. And we have different data points like what product they're interested in, territories or location they're from. And then we also have the checks for if they are spam or duplicate. And just to recall the whole thing, in the process we had in the assignment groups, we saw we had different steps. So we have triage, where we are finding territories and figuring out if it is an actual lead. Then we have the spam check, enrichment, where we will be able to figure out which product type they're interested in. And eventually we had assign to agent, which means after we have established that which of the leads are actual leads, we will go ahead and assign them out to different people. And anything that is spam or not a good lead would automatically be deflected. So how the solution works is that I would move all of these leads to a status triage, and that would like kick off the whole automation. So what I'll do is I'll select all of these leads from here, and we can go ahead and put it in the triage status. And now our Q-assign or scheduler in the background is running. So what it does is within a few seconds, we will start seeing changes happen to our leads. Okay, so the first step that happened, we can see, is that our solution ran and it figured out which territory each lead is from. And after it was done finding territories, you can also see that lead status got updated to triaged. So essentially, it has pushed the leads into the next step of the automation lifecycle. Okay, and the next thing that has happened is that our check solution ran using AI, and it figured out that the first one, this lead, car offer, and somebody selling you something for the website, were not actual leads, they're just spam. So it automatically updated our spam flag on the lead as well. As a next step, the leads that were spam, you can see their status are automatically changed to unqualified, and the ones that were not spam were sent to the next step of the process, which is the enrichment of the leads, creating more data points that we can use then to figure out who to assign these leads out to. Okay. And now we can see the status has changed to new, which means, the next step has happened. From the enrichment is done, the data would surface in a few moments, but essentially we are going to the next step of the process. Okay, so as a next step, what has happened is that after the leads were enriched, we were able to figure out what product type we're working with. Either it's Q-assign, unknown, or for some leads that were junk, there is no product essentially because they were not processed for enrichment and were already deflected as spam. And now that we have this information in terms of different products and everything, we have territories and so on. So we were able to go ahead and assign the leads out to different people who are available. And these were the people that we saw inside that assignment group that we added for the agent assignment. So what is happening essentially is that our solution then looks at all the data points and it says, okay, in Texas East for the product type Q-assign, who is the best person to assign it out to? And as you can see, within a few seconds, we've essentially gone through multiple different steps: triage, AI based spam check, deflection, enrichment, and assignment. And then we just gone ahead and changed the status to assign as well. And if you look at the leads, you can see it actually looks like an actual lead, somebody interested in Q-assign, asking for a demo, and so on. And this is just like the tip of the iceberg of what's possible with the solution. And we can add a lot more things. Like, one, it has also specified if something is a duplicate, and we can take different actions from there as well. And once the assignment has happened, then we will have the supervisor running in the background as well that will make sure that the next step happens. So somebody starts working on these leads and the SLAs are met and so on and so forth. That's pretty much it for the demo.
Yeah, thank you so much, Quratulain, for this first intro and then demo. I think that was very educational. So we would open up the Q&A now.
Sure.
So there was initially a question from Michael. I think he had to leave. In the meanwhile, he joined late and he wanted to know the relationship of the other companies mentioned with this event.
Sure.
And I took the liberty to point out that they are under Ascendix.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So Ascendix is the parent company, and all of us ISVs are like sister companies under that umbrella of Ascendix.
Yeah, it's a tendency in the Salesforce ISV space for that to happen.
Yeah.
Next up is Rodrigo. Would you maybe like to answer your question yourself?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So Rodrigo, I think your question is around the education use case, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we have been working with I think I'm not sure exactly if I can share the name of the customer, but what we were working with was connecting different students for their housing needs. So it was more of a assignment solution where the students are coming in to a university, getting enrolled, and they have different needs on housing and everything. And our solution was able to match these students to housing, and we were able to use AI as well. So, for instance, when we are looking at different, the students, they have different preferences. Do they want to share a room with somebody, for instance, who smokes or drinks or stuff like that? And taking all of those attributes and then the options we had available, we were able to implement AI to find the best allocation for each of these students. And I think we were able to manage quite a high volume in the season when their new students are coming in and getting enrolled as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I, as far I think I understand it was for universities.
Yeah.
So you didn't have any other like high schools or K-12 levels of clients right now, but I think that maybe the
I think we
it
have
would
worked.
it would
Yeah,
work either way.
yeah, it would work either way, and we do have high school or other uh, cus- customers as well. But for the most part, what they are doing is, let's say they are like assigning out queries or cases or complaints or questions from these students, their parents, to different people in the administration. So we have done such use cases as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. I think there's
So
a question from Johannes.
yeah, Johannes, do you maybe want to phrase that yourself? No? Okay. Yeah, sorry for intervening.
Oh, no worries. I'm glad you're interactive, Renee, and you're participating. Gives me confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. So just talking about the question about cherry picking, I can just read the question and then hopefully answer it. So it says, in eliminating cherry picking part, it says auto assign to be the best or first available rep. How can you manage those leads not to be assigned to the single rep, best or first? So how we can manage this one is that we can introduce something we call quota or active record. So we can say things like, if let's say one person is available on the team and we have 10 leads, we can set it up in a way where only two get assigned to the person unless they've work on it, close it, and then get the next two. So in that, we ensure that auto assignment is happening. However, we are not dumping all the leads on one person at one time because nobody can work effectively on 10 leads at the same time. So yes, automation is a good solution there, but we can control or um, set the solution based on what the business requires.
Yeah, thank you so much. I would really encourage the others, if anything is not clear, to ask questions as well, or to relate what you have presented to their own thinking, to their own business needs, or to their own curiosity. You can also ask directly.
Yeah, feel free to. And even if you have questions afterwards, like Rodrigo, I can pull like a summary of education customers and send it over to you, if that is something of your interest.
I think it was most for the audience, so they know
Oh,
it, it, how it has been managed to be implemented or to into the education cloud or education industries.
oh,
Yeah. Otherwise, if I may, I would like to ask one or two questions myself. So Quratulain, you kindly explained that what we are looking at with Q-assign is like an on-platform solution, right?
yeah, that's right.
But you were also saying that there is like an AI module
Yeah,
or AI capabilities.
yeah.
And how do you, I mean, we can easily reconcile, how do I best phrase it? So how does that resonate with one another? Because these are off-platform, right?
That's correct. So, um, for the assignment solution and the most of the other solutions that we have are fully native to Salesforce. Where AI comes in, how we are handling that is that within Salesforce, we give you the tools and capabilities to create the agents, create the prompts, and add the data. And then it does go off platform, so it is essentially an API request that goes to your LLM. However, we are not processing your data externally anywhere. The LLM is managed by the customer themselves, so they can choose how they want to go about it. Do they want to retain the data, use it for training or not? So they fully manage the LLM themselves, and then we send the request from Salesforce, goes to the LLM, comes back, but we don't process it externally to Salesforce.
Yeah. Thank you so much for explaining. So it would be quite possible to show this in a landscape, but I see why it wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah.
Could you maybe quickly illustrate the demo scope we have seen on the capability slide, just as a small reminder of what we have actually seen?
Yeah, let me do that. Let me share my, oh, hold on. Let me know when my screen comes through.
I can read it now.
Awesome. So we have pretty much covered everything that is managed here. So we have talked about lead matching. We have talked about how to manage, the managers can manage their team, their availability, assignments, reassignment with the whole supervisor thing, eliminate cherry picking because we are doing automation, automatically assigning it out. Then we have plugin actions where we ran our territory solution to identify locations, run spam checks, run duplicate checks, and so on.
Is there a dashboard part that you could maybe tell us about?
Let me just quickly see if we have any dashboard. I do have a dashboard where it talks more about case orchestration, but if it is helpful, I can just quickly bring it on.
Yeah, sure. You have confirmed, as we were seeing, run reports and measure. So I think it would be nice to connect this as well.
Sure. So as these leads or cases are coming in and getting assigned, we can create reports and dashboard in Salesforce and essentially see how many were deflected, how many were assigned, how many are still unassigned or in the backlog, and then product cut down and so on. So these, because we're creating all of those data points, we can pretty easily create reports and dashboards on top of it for the management or business team.
Maybe a little bit of related question or not, as we got quite a full picture of routing today. I'm not sure if you're getting this question a lot. So if I see cases, I think this is like a good trigger. I'm thinking of Service Cloud. If I'm thinking of Service Cloud, I'm thinking of Omnichannel.
Yeah.
Omnichannel does routing, Q-assign does routing. So how does that relate to one another? Is it a replacement? Is it an enhancement? Is it something else altogether?
Right, that's a very great question, and we get that pretty often as well. So with Omnichannel, Q-assign can actually run in collaboration with as well. So some of our customers are using Omnichannel and they say, you guys handle the logic of what record goes where, but we would like it to be delivered through Omnichannel. So we can work with each other in that purpose. And then some of our customers would say, we would like to enhance the assignment solution and kind of replace Omnichannel. And some situations where it can happen is because, for instance, Omnichannel can do assignment but not reassignment. So if we have customers who want to do reassignment, they might opt to go with Q-assign. The other would could be to managing availability. So things like in Omnichannel, you become available to the Omnichannel widget, but in Q-assign, we can manage it through calendar, business hours, logged in, and many other options. So if the customers would prefer to use that, they can use an enhanced solution and use Q-assign. And then the question Johannes had with Omnichannel, if there are 10 records and a user becomes available, they might get the full capacity of their records at the same time. while in Q-assign we can manage how the records get distributed. Again, I wouldn't say it's a complete elimination. It can work together in conjunction, which a lot of our customers do, or it could be in work either or situation where they want a more enhanced solution. They could opt with Q-assign.
Yeah, so not to speculate too much, but somebody could maybe even off a Sales Cloud license, couple it with Q-assign, and have kind of a Service Cloud functionality.
Yeah, they would still need Service Cloud for cases and everything, but yeah, they can use it with Q-assign license and have the whole assignment work for them.
Yeah, you mean the full Monty of case functionality is only available in Service Cloud?
That's correct. So we would work on top of Service Cloud for assignment.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
But Service Cloud licenses are not a technical requirement for the solution to operate?
I believe they would be if they would need access to cases and other aspects of Service Cloud. So we would work on top of whatever Salesforce is offering. So if they're using Sales Cloud, working with leads and opportunities, they would need that, and then we come on top with the lead and opportunity assignment. And they can use our licenses and permissions to use our part of the applications.
Ah, okay. I was mistakenly assuming cases were part of Sales Cloud.
I think they are. You're right, actually.
Okie dokie.
There's so much.
Yeah, maybe as a final question from my side, could you maybe briefly speak to trialing Q-assign and to licensing it? How does either look like? Can there be an assisted trial, or can there be in a trial that I just decide to do myself via the App Exchange?
Yeah, sure. So for the trial, anybody can go to the App Exchange and install any of our applications and Q-assign as well into their sandboxes or developer orgs. And it comes with a 30-day free trial. And as soon as you do, our team gets notified and they will reach out to you. And the trial could be assisted, where our team works with you to build your use case. Or if you want to do it yourself and just, on and off ask questions, you can do that as well. And our enablement, assistance, anything through the trial is free as well. So it comes with no charge. Um, and the licensing, it works on per user per month basis, I believe. And we have a minimum of 20 licenses that we go with. And we do have discounts for nonprofits, which our sales team can talk more about. And we also, I think, offer volume discounts. If you're using multiple of our applications, then we can talk about volume discounts as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, one other very small question. You wrote somewhere that the assistance, the success management would be included, if that is correct. So that makes me think of professional services that you deliver to the customer. But wouldn't you at one point bill them out as well?
Right. So the initial enablement before the implementation, that would be the POC trial, any POC iterations that are for free. However, after the customer has implemented, purchased the solution, then we have different levels of support that comes with the success support and everything. So you can opt for a level of support to and then you pay for it basically to have that. So it depends, like, is it just email support, call support, working with you, implementing? But we don't have like a separate professional services area. It is covered in that support level.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, great. I thank you so much. I thank everybody who has been attending today. And I would wish you very good time ahead. I would leave the last words to first our kind co-host, Rodrigo, and then to you, Quratulain.
Thank you for being on this session, and it was awesome. I really like the product you are having this this session. It's really helpful for many reasons, and most of all, it has the power of AI within it, and not relying on Agentforce or other things. Thanks. Also, come to Mexico training.
I would love to come to Mexico. I think it's too last minute this time, but hopefully next year.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
But I wish you all the best. I hope it goes really well. And you should come to Pakistan Dreaming too. We're doing it next year, probably in April.
Oh, I'm still working on having visa approved, so let's see that first.
I fully understand the pain of visas being in Pakistan, so I definitely empathize with that. But I hope it works out. Thank you very much, Renee, for hosting me and letting me ramble on for so long, and everybody for listening along. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I hope this was a good use of your time. And again, thank you very much, Renee, for being very kind and supporting me very well through the process.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.